Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome to the Wildflower Wills YouTube channel. We're here every Monday casting on a brand new project. So, hope everybody's had a fantastic day and a good start to your week. For most of us, I think it has been a long weekend. So, hope everybody's had a great weekend, which maybe hopefully means a lot of knitting time. So, as always, we're going to start off talking about the yarns that I had everybody voting for this week's project. I'll let you know which one is the winning project, and we'll talk about the pattern. I've got some new yarn to show you, and I've got a couple projects to show you some progress on. So let's get started. This week's yarn, again, is from Stash. I don't know if any of you recognize this yarn. Let me show you the label so you have an idea what it is. So it's Patents Stretch Sock. This has been in my stash for 10 plus years probably. I've had this around for a while, but it is lovely. It's been discontinued for quite a while, which is pretty sad because it is really, really lovely to work with. I've done a few projects with this. I've done a sweater and one or two sweaters out of it, and it was really nice, and some socks. Really, really nice. So hi everybody. I see some people coming in here in the chat. Hope you've got your knitting and just get settled in, and we're going to chit chat and knit for an hour. So this yarn, Patent Stretch, I was looking for sock yarn that I had enough to do this project in. I'm not entirely sure how much yarn I'm going to need for this. What's it? Web Vest 2.0. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. So if you want to knit along with me, you can go grab that and we can cast on together. So I took a look through my stash this morning, looking for sock yarn that I was going to have enough, or at least I would have some extra. So I wouldn't run out. Always a good idea. So I came up with this. They're both the exact same, just different shades. This is taffy and the black is licorice. I kind of like that theme name. Um, Um, so anyways, I wasn't sure how you guys were going to vote. If you would go black because, can never go wrong with black, or do something a little different, something with a little more color, and go with the brown. So the voting, there was a little less votes today, probably just because it was the holiday. People are getting ready back to school. School starts for anybody who's got kids. I'm sure today was a little bit of a rush around, kind of the last day of summer vacation, and it's all back to work, back to school, kind of routine, gets back on track tomorrow. So we had 80 some odd votes, 83, 85 votes. And the winning yarn had 61% of the votes. It was pretty close. Um, I was seeing a lot of votes for black. A lot of people were saying black goes with anything, which is true. Other people were saying the brown is a really, really fun color, knit with brown. So I had to add up the votes because between Facebook, Instagram, and here on YouTube, there was a lot of votes coming in today, which was fun to see. So, oh, Lynn says, "Oh, is this a better picture? Is this better?" Lynn says she wants to change her vote to brown now. Hi, Nancy. Oh, Liz is giving me the drum roll. Susanna says, "Well, I'm locked out of my house. Oh no, but I did find the car keys that I'd lost a couple of minutes ago. Oh no, Susanna. Okay, fingers crossed. Can you squeeze through a window somewhere? Oh no." Let's see. Oh, hey, Jocelyn. Even just making some dinner. Perfect. Well, then you guys just listen, and we'll just keep you company. Oh, smoky and damp in Calgary. Yuck, that's not good, Lynn. It has been super, super hot here. It is like a heat wave. It was 30 plus degrees. We had heat warnings yesterday and today, and I'm not sure, maybe for tomorrow again. So yeah, it was kind of warm, but that's okay. Summer's not finished with us yet, and I am okay with that. Even though, September 1st comes and it just all of a sudden it just feels like fall. I pulled out some pumpkins Oh, actually, I'll show you those. Remind me, and I'll show you those up closer in a minute. Because I know everybody wants to know what the winning yarn is for the project this week. Drum roll. Liz gave us a drum roll. The yarn I am casting on, the black, the brown, the brown, the black, is so um just so suspenseful, isn't it? Okay, the yarn I'm casting on for a project, this poncho vest thingy that we'll chat about in a second, is black. So kind of the whole theme of black will go with everything. Why not? I mean, really, you can't go wrong with black, right? But you guys, oh no, I am like fall colors. So like brown, I love the brown too. So at some point I'll have to make this into something. But it's been in my stash for so long. If a little longer is not gonna hurt it. So I have got lots of this black. I know licorice. Isn't that just a fun name? Black. I mean, it's just called licorice, but I love black licorice. Do you guys like black licorice, or are you a red licorice fan? I love black licorice. I have now kind of a feeling that I need to go get some black licorice so I can have a little treat as I'm knitting the project. Okay, so anyways, this is going to be super fun. So like I said, this is discontinued. I have seen some other stretch sock. I can't remember what brand it is, but so there is some out there if you like it. So this stuff here is 41% cotton, 39% wool, 13 elastic, no, 13 nylon, 7% elastic. Anyways, cotton, woolen, elastic, and nylon. So I have made socks out of it, and it does wear really well for that. It feels really nice. Like I think if you were somebody who was sensitive to wool, you might be able to get away with this because, well, I mean, it's pretty close. 41 cotton, 39 wool, but feeling it, you would not know there was wool in there. It's really, really nice to knit with. So I have got, I don't know I don't know. I was going to guess how many balls, probably 10 or 12 of them. So I think I will have lots and lots and lots for the project. So black it is. Oh, what else was I going to tell you about this? So obviously Patton's sock yarn is at 50-gram balls. It does say hand wash. I might still do just, delicate cycle on the machine or maybe hand wash. We'll see. I have to say, I start out really, really good. When I'm knitting a project, I baby it. I don't let the cat, well, I try not to let the cat sit on it. I try to keep it in a project bag. And then as soon as it's done, then it's like, I'm not near as careful with it, like Daisy will sleep on it and whatever. And then the beginning, I hand wash and take care of it. Then after I've worn it a little bit, then it's like, yeah, just throw it in the machine. So we will see. I think this will hold up okay. Um, I probably won't put it in the dryer though because of the nylon and elastic. That just the heat deteriorates both of those. So we'll probably just hand wash it. Or well, I'll start on anyways, lay it flat to dry for sure. Probably start hand washing it at the beginning. Okay, what is this? 218 meters. So I did go by the yardage on here, and what the pattern says is it's saying that I'm only going to need, I think, 4 balls. There's no sleeves on this. Did anybody? I know a couple of people. Oh, before I start talking about the pattern, I should make note, Jen. I don't know if Jen is in here in the comments or not. Jen brought up a really good point. As soon as she saw the picture, she immediately left a comment on Instagram and she's like, Louise, I don't know if I'd knit a garment out of this yarn because it is stretchy, which is a valid point, Jen, because she thought it may just have too much stretch because this yarn does have a lot of stretch in it. And I know back when I first knit with it, that's what I was mindful of that. And I thought, do you have to compensate for that stretch? But I don't. And I'm gonna do the sweater that I made out of this. It was knit at a fairly tight gauge. So I could get gauge and it wore really, really well. And it was really nice to wear. So this is at a very, very loose gauge. So we'll see. You could be right, Jen. I could be taking a chance with this. And if I come back here in a little while and be like, oh, that was a big mistake, you have every right to say I told you so. But I'm gonna take my chances because I've had this yarn for so long and I just really want to start knitting it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Um, oh, somebody's talking about salty licorice. Okay. Who was that? I had some of that when I was in Norway. I think Rita gave me some of that to try. I think is that a European thing? I have a friend who's Dutch and she knew all about the salty licorice. Okay, has anybody tried it? Oh, Amanda, hey, Amanda. Amanda says, I love black licorice, especially the kind made with molasses. Oh, um, you ever drink, what is that? Anisette? So anise is what the licorice flavor, isn't it? Which I love the smell of. Oh, Cindy, you made socks out of the brown, out of the taffy. Were you happy with them? Okay, let me just see here. Red licorice, that's a thing. Elena, you guys don't have red licorice in Norway? Oh my gosh. Okay. Next time I come to visit, I will have to bring you some. Yes. So red, it's either strawberry or cherry. Usually, well, I think they're strawberry. Cherry for sure. I, yeah. I mean, who are we kidding? I like all licorice, but black is my favorite. Okay, let's see. Oh yes, it's favorite. Yes. So like the anise flavor is the licorice, which is the black. But yeah, we have red licorice that is flavored strawberry. And I think there's cherry as well, isn't there? But that's what we call it licorice. Okay, maybe I'll have to send you a picture. Yeah, so the salty licorice, I did not like it at all. It was salty. Oh, Lynn says she likes salty licorice. Yeah. Oh, it is a licorice liqueur. Ooh, that would be nice. That would be nice. Okay, so who was now if oh, Cindy said she made brown socks. Oh, yeah, she didn't mind them at all. Yeah, I know. I really like this. Okay, so on to the pattern. The pattern. So the pattern name, I'll pull you up a picture on Ravelry. I know a couple people um looked it up and who was somebody changed their vote after they looked at the picture on Ravelry. They were like, "Oh, I'm changing my vote to black." So there it is. So this one here, the lady in the white pants who's wearing the black top, it's really hard to tell because she's got a black t-shirt on. But the lady beside her, she's got a black, like looks like long sleeve top on, and then she has the red vest, poncho, capelet over top. So it's one of those things. It's kind of like what was like the swan shows? Did they have they had two sleeves, didn't they? This one has one armhole and a neck hole. And then you can see the other side is just all open. Um, so I don't know. I think it would be interesting. I was just looking around on Ravelry this morning, trying to find. My thought was I was going to go on Ravelry this morning and see kind of what was in the top 10 or 20 patterns that had been the most looked at, and just see if I could find something from there. Thought that would be a good way to narrow down the bazillion patterns in Ravelry. But there was a lot of sweaters because it's fall. But I didn't think well, it wasn't what I was looking for to start with. Anyways, I don't know. I came across this one and I thought it looked fun. It looked like it would be fairly quick, and we're doing it. So let me tell you what it says on here. So that oh my goodness, this is like a brand new pattern. It says September of 2023. So it's only been up for like a couple of days. Oh, maybe we're like ahead of a trend here, you guys. So it says they have it in a category of a vest. The designer's name is Clara Gasparini. I took a look. This looks like this is her first pattern. So she suggests Rowan Kid Silk Haze drops Kid Silk knitting for olive, and there's two yarns held together. So she's has two lace weights for a light fingering. Okay, light fingering. Patton's yarn, sock yarn is not light fingering weight, but I think it'll be fine. Think it'll be fine. Um, oh, Jocelyn's letting us know what she's having to eat. That's sounds good, Jocelyn. So, and it says, so listen to this, you guys. It is talking a US 15 needle size, which is a 10 millimeter. Um, that's huge gauge, like that, like loose, 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 right? Let me see if I can find more pictures of it here. Um, is there okay, there's one there. So you can see it's really, really, really loose, loosely knit. So I don't think I will go with a 10 millimeter because I knit really loose to start with. So I think I will just go probably a 9. And um, let's see what else it says. I'm gonna start with a 9 and see what I get here. So it says adult. There's Kitchener stitching. It's one piece. You start with a provisional cast on. It is seamed. Oh, it also says 3 needle bind off. So maybe you have a choice. And worked flat. It is a free pattern. So it says WebFast 2.0 is a garment that hugs the body, not too tight and not too loose, like a poncho or a capelet, like the one I already have on my needles that is not done, but we won't talk about that. Um, despite the unusual shape, it is extremely comfortable. WebVest 2.0 is worked in one piece starting from a provisional cast on, which will form the neck. Collecting the stitches, continue straight until the work is closed, forming a hole for the arm. If you use thicker yarn, your garment will be more comfortable and will fit larger sizes. So I don't know if that's exactly what she meant to say, more comfortable. I'm assuming a sock weight one will be comfortable. Um, but maybe cozy. Maybe that's the word, like bigger, cozier, chunkier, you know. Um, but listen to this. I like this. This was maybe what clinched it for me. And it said, and last but not least, it is an instant gratification project. You knit it in a few hours. I'm not holding my breath about knitting it in hours, but if I can get it done in a month. I was gonna say, I'm like, "Oh, what do I want it? Like a weekend, a week, 2 weeks?" Let's be realistic here, right? Maybe like a month. I mean, there's no sleeves. It's knit really loose. It should be a super, super quick on a 10 millimeter needle. Its size is small up to 4XL. So that is a bust size of looks like 35 inches up to 55 inches. The gauge is 10 stitches and 12 rows. Um, it doesn't say. I'm assuming over 4 inches. Um, it says long or straight needles. There you go. So, oh, then it's in. So, anyways, I think it'll be fun. Kind of an end of the summer, kind of cool days, like these days when it's still not super, super cold, but just something you want something to pull over, you know, if I get it done in time. If not, it'll be fantastic for spring, right? Okay, let's see. What's anybody? Oh, Nancy says she'll be finished tonight. Wouldn't that be fantastic? I'm not holding my breath. I'm not that fast of a knitter, and I get too distracted by things. But I mean, if it is like if you did knit it on a 10 millimeter, like where are some of these pictures? Like maybe that could honestly be a weekend knit, you know, Friday night, Saturday, Sunday. um, it could be. It gets yeah, okay. There's another picture of another lady wearing it. So just past your elbow. Well, the one side's just past your elbow, isn't it? Um, and then the other one is just a little short sleeve. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know. I think you guys are right. I think it'll look really great in the black, and then black will go with everything, right? For jeans, over jeans and a t-shirt. for the fall. So that's it. That is this week's project. So I know some of you cast on this past week and knit last week's project with me. So if you want, grab the pattern or put it in your library. And if you've got some yarn lying around in your stash, um, cast on. It would be fun. Okay, oh, what is this? Oh, but it has licorice flavor in it. Oh, we're still talking about licorice flavored. That's fantastic. No, bring it in tonight, Sam. And if it's not dry, put it out again tomorrow. It'll just get wet overnight. Okay, good, good, good. All right, so speaking of last week's project, everybody, this is the yarn you all voted for. What was it last week? There was lemongrass and a dark olive, and you voted for the nice bright lemongrass. I am almost finished. I tried so hard. I spent a lot of time this afternoon watching Netflix, just binge watching some shows and knitting to try to get the last few rows done on here. I did not quite make it. I think I'm on row 6 of the border, and so I've got 10 more rows to do. So super close. And I was hoping to have it done, but not quite. So here it is. So this pattern was 198 yards of heaven. The idea from the pattern is that it's supposed to be like one skein of worsted weight yarn. So they had suggested Cascade 220. You'd have 220 yards. It takes about 200. This is my second ball. Oh, and don't, I shouldn't say my whole second ball. I had a ball that had 95 grams in. I don't know what I used 5 grams for, maybe a little sample. I don't know. Anyways, so I started out with one ball and I knit the whole lace pattern and I did a couple of rows of there. You can see there's the start of the border down here. Um, and then I ran out of yarn. So I was sure oh, thanks, Cindy. I know it's knitting up really nice, isn't it? I was sure when I picked up the original ball last week and I was like, it wasn't quite a full ball. I thought, well, it'll be fine. Because I did think, I maybe would just do a few rows of the edging and just cast it off and be done with it. But in the back of my head, I'm like, I would bet money I have another one of these balls lying around because I love this color and I've had many of them over the years. So I did a little digging because my yarn room is pretty much all packed up because I've been moving shelves and stuff around. So I had to go through the packed up yarn and was digging through bags and totes, and I found this ball and I picked it up and it is not quite a full ball. So don't think that I've used like another full half a ball. I've only used hardly even started this ball at all. So, and there's 10 rounds to go. So it'll be just over, well, if I had that 5 grams, it probably would be just over one ball. But the lace is knitting up nice. Now, I think it was Heidi sent me a message and she posted a picture in the Fiber Friends group. She finished hers. She had it all done. And I took your idea, Heidi. Heidi had said which way is this? Okay, when she started the border, it was supposed to be in garter stitch, and she said she didn't like how it looked, so she just did hers in stockinette. So, Heidi, I took your good advice, and that's what I started out doing as well. Cindy, this is worsted. This is a worsted on a 5.5 millimeter needle, and you guys, I really had to look for 5.5 needles. It is this time of year with all of my new starts that my needles options are slim pickings. So I started out this on a 16-inch needle, and I quickly got so that needle was filled, and I looked through, and I was looking for a needle, and I found a package that said 5.5, and I got so excited. I'm like, "Yes, I have one." And it is only a 24 inch. So, but it is gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to, well, and it is because I'm not increasing anymore. I'm sure we're not increasing for, well, maybe we are. I don't know. I haven't looked at stitch counts. Anyways, it's fine. It's on the border, but there's only a few rows left. So, and I don't think we're increasing on here. We're still doing lace, but everything's lining up. So I know it is really pretty, isn't it, Cindy? So I know Heidi said that it is a shawl. So there's the top of it. So we cast on up here and then you work out. So it is going to be a triangle. And the edging is just straight. There's just a straight edging. Some of the pictures people must have opted to put a different border on, or maybe they crocheted something because some of them have more like of a pointy edge, but they've obviously added something on it. This one does not look pointy, which is fine. So yeah, I'm partway through a row here. I'll try to knit here as we chat. So, but I found the lace to be pretty easy. I always knit from, I almost always knit from charts. This pattern was charted and it was written out. I, for whatever reason, found the chart hard to knit from. Now, mind you, I was knitting from it on my phone, so it wasn't very big. Um, and so I ended up just reading it row by row. And there's only 56 rows of of like the main lacy pattern up here, and then there's 16 rows of the border. So it's, it goes pretty quick. It really is. And if I'd done a little bit more knitting earlier in the weekend, I would have had this done. So I would confidently say you could get this finished in a week if you just did a little bit of a couple hours every night. You could get this done. So it's pretty and I like it, and I'm almost afraid to look at it too close. That's why it always makes me nervous when I hold it up and I'm looking at it here through the screen. I'm like so worried I'm going to look at it and be like, see a glaring error, like right there. But hopefully not. And if there is, it's going to stay because I'm not going to pull it back out. So I didn't really make any mistakes. I did see but my second last row of the body of the pattern, like the main lace pattern, I did in one section, I purled where I should have knit. Yeah, I think I purled across. So what I did when I came to those sections was I dropped back down 2, 3, or 4 rows, depending on which row I was fixing it on, and just fix them. But yeah, I think I've got them all. I looked back across all the sections and I didn't see anything. So I don't think I'm going to worry too much. If I missed one section, I don't think you're going to really notice. But anyways, I'm really really super happy with it. I did start it twice. I should say that. I don't know if I said that on a podcast at all, but I did start it. It starts out here with 4 stitches, and then you increase row, and then you start into lace. And I found this top part was really, really tight, even though I'm a loose knitter. So typically I don't find I have tight edges. I was knitting it and I was finding it was like really curling up. And the more I was stretching it, it felt tight. And I was like, I only had, I don't know, I forget how much I had done. I had a little bit done, but, it was one of those things every time I finished the row and I was turning my work around, I'm like stretching on it. I'm like, is this going to stretch? Will it block out? And finally, it's like that gut feeling. And I was like, no, I've only just started. So I pulled it out and I like purposely very, very loosely cast on. Like like looped the yarn over the needle so it was loose, and worked those first two. You just increased front and back into the stitches the first two rows. So I did those really, really loose as well. So it would have some stretch, and it looks okay. It looks like it should lay flat once it's blocked. So, yeah, I think this was a win. I had said I had had this pattern in my favorites or in my Ravelry library when it was this pattern was released in 2014 or 2016. So it's an older pattern, but sometimes it's good to revisit those, right? Because patterns they kind of have their time and people knit them, and then you move on to the next newest and funnest pattern, and then some of these older ones that are super fun get forgot about. So I'm glad that I found this in my Ravelry library and I'm actually knitting it. So this is going to be one ball of stash yarn is knit. A little bit more of this one's going to be knit. I'm going to use a pattern that I've had in my library for a lot of years. Well, I think I stashed it. You know what I should say? In Ravelry, it tells you when you put it in your stash. So I put it in my stash in 2014 or 16. Um, so I'm assuming it was probably released sometime around there. I don't know. Maybe, anyways, I did not check that. But it's been in my stash at my Ravelry library for a while. So I'm feeling kind of good that using yarn, using patterns, it's a win-win. So if I would suggest this. Um, the chart, I don't know. I know Heidi said she had trouble with the lace. She got to a certain row and then she just called it quits. And so what she did was she just did stockinette for the body of the shawl, and then she did the lace border around the bottom, which looked lovely as well. I would say the lace pattern, you do kind of have to, typically there's, like an edge stitch, and then you repeat, 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 and then you do a couple stitches on the end for the end border. This one was like that, but there was, when you got to the center stitch, you had to repeat starting at the very beginning again and knit those beginning stitches and then repeat the center and then knit the ending. So there was a couple times, especially when I started the border, I'd forgotten that, and I just kept doing the repeat. I'm like, why is this not working? You could see like your decreased lines and things not lining up, and then it's like, oh, I forgot to go back to that very beginning. So it's not hard. It's just I just had to think about it a little bit because it just seemed not quite as intuitive as other lace repeats, but it was fine once I got going on it. It was fine. Stitch markers, I recommend for I've got them in here for the border. I did not put stitch markers in the body of the pattern. Normally, I would always recommend that, even if you're an experienced lace knitter, because it's easy to forget a yarn over. But on here, there was a natural kind of spot where you could check your work. There was these columns here with purl stitches. So every time I got to where it was purl 2, I would just look at my work and make sure I was on track, purling on top of pearls. Then I knew I was good. So I kind of used that as my marker, just reading my work. So it was good. I don't know if I was to rate this, what would I give it? I think it needs a little bit more yarn than probably what the pattern calls for. I would, yeah, just having one ball, because depending on your gauge, if you're not getting quite gauge, you're going to use a little bit more. So I would say probably want a little bit more than what the pattern calls for. But everything else seems to be written out pretty well. I didn't see like any errors in the pattern. I knit mostly from the written and it was fine. The only thing it didn't have was stitch counts. The chart has stitch counts after every, you do the chart like 2.5 times. Off to the side, it gives you stitch counts, which are very helpful if you think you're off track for every time you go through the pattern. So it has 3 sets of numbers. So after row 1, the first time around, you've got X number of stitches. the next time you start the pattern repeat again and you're on row 1 the second time, it has a new number. And then the third time you do it, there's a third number. On the written instructions, it didn't have that, so you just had to go back and forth if you wanted to check your stitch count, which I did once. Which isn't, again, not a big deal, but you do have to flip back and forth different pages. But I mean, that's just nitpicky stuff. So overall, it was good. So if you think you want to do something lacy, I would suggest it. Okay, so that was that. That was the bulk of my knitting because I really, really wanted to come back here and even have it blocked. And I wanted to be able to say, I finished this within 1 week. And I am like, what did I say? 10 rows, 10 rows of being done. So there will be a finish next week for sure. But I also did start and see, well, seeing this could have been a little bit of if I hadn't started another new little project. Mind you, I didn't knit um, a whole bunch on this. I mean, but this is going to be a pumpkin because it is fall. It is September. It's pumpkin season. So last year I had talked about knitting some pumpkins and I did not get a chance to do it. I don't know. I got distracted by like all the other things. So I thought this year I'm going to start pumpkins September 1st. So September 1st I cast this on and it is just I just found a ball of yarn in my stash. Kind of the first fallish colored ball I found, I grabbed. I wasn't looking for a certain weight or certain color, just kind of anything. And the first thing I found, again, it's a Patton's Classic Wool DK. So this is a super wash. And I've got 3.75 millimeter needles. I was kind of wanting anything from a 3 to a 3.5 is kind of what I was looking for. I found a 3.75 and I think it's okay. And I knit loose, so I wouldn't want it any looser than that, but I think it'll be fine. Um, I will stuff it. I've got my super, super big bag of the polyfill that, so I will fill these. So I just did a large section. So you guys, this was supposed to have cables on it. Fiber Friends, it's September. Our challenge over there in the Fiber Friends podcast is cables. So I was going to do this pumpkin cable. That's why I did my knit section nice and wide so I could put a nice big cable in here. I was having such a grand time just knitting round and round and round, binge watching some stuff on Netflix. I forgot to cable. So pumpkin number 1 is just going to be nice and plain. Pumpkin number 2 will have cables. We will attempt cables on that one. But anyways, anyway, yeah, I know. I had thought, I don't know. I remembered somewhere I was halfway and I was like, "Oh, I'm like I'm like, do I start cables now?" And then I'm like, "Ah, whatever." So this one here will just be it will call it a prototype for size. And we'll try the next one for cables because I'm planning on doing a bunch. So I bought these two back here. I was at it's like a home decor store, a local store, and she said a local lady makes these, so they're crocheted, and they were like, my colors. I couldn't pass them up. So look at okay there. So just white. It's got the cinnamon stick. I don't know. I might not make that quite as tall, but everybody likes something a little different. But it's really nice, and it looks like it's probably just like I don't know. It's just an acrylic chunky yarn. So it looks really, really fun. And I love the texture. I mean, because I want to knit a bunch of them, but the crochet does give a really nice texture. Okay, it's just totally blowing. Oh, there we go. That's better. It is. So I don't know. I have no idea, you crocheters out there, what kind of stitch that is, but it's really pretty. So I thought, you know what? Until I get some of my own knit ones done, I thought I would just pick these up and then we'll just intermix knitted and crocheted pumpkins. So I'm hoping I briefly had this crazy thought that, "Oh, I should knit a pumpkin a day for 30 days during September." And I'm like, "Okay, that sounds good, but the reality is that will not happen." So I quickly vetoed that kind of crazy idea, but I would like at least every week, kind of between September and October, to have another knit pumpkin. So we will see. We will see if that happens. Going to kind of fit that around all the other knitting. So that's what I worked on. That was a little bit of a couple of nights of just sitting and working on that, which is kind of nice because I was completely no thought needed, like literally no thought, and not like so much no thought that I totally omitted the cables that I had planned to put on there. But anyways, that's okay. Oh, the Gramp sweater. That's a little baby sweater, isn't it, with a shawl collar? Oh, okay. Sam sent me a picture. Hold on. Let me see where I did. Okay. So let me find my phone, Sam. Sam said she sent me a picture. Sam and I did some dyeing yesterday, like a lot of dyeing. Because you guys all know Sam is doing her dishcloth challenge this year. So she was wanting some Halloween colors. So I don't know if any of them are really Halloween colors, but we had a lot of fun. So she had a great big huge ball of cotton. We skeined it into some about 70 gram skeins and used RIT to dye them. So, oh, Sam, look at those. Oh, yeah, there's a green one on the bottom. So one, two, three, four, five, six. So we did six skeins. Okay, how am I going to? Okay, okay. This is going to be kind of this one down here across the side. That's kind of that was the neon green. And then there was not the best picture, but you get the idea. The top was kind of a dark purpley pink. Then the next two were kind of a chestnutty color, and then there was two oranges down there. So we used a bit. The chestnut was fun. Sam had fun doing that. There was wine and black and orange went in the dye pot there. So those colors turned out good, Sam. So we'll have to see what you knit those up in, right? Which I suggested to her using one of the chestnut colors because it was funny because I remember last year Sam and I had talked about doing some yarn dyeing and it just didn't work out. And what she was looking for was chestnut brown, like RIT or Tintex dye. And I'm like, chestnut brown. I'm like, I don't know if I've seen like chestnut brown. Well, then when you know this one, she was trying for a rust and it I would say that came out chestnut brown, so that was a happy coincidence that she ended up getting kind of the exact color she was looking for. Okay, I'm gonna take a peek here in the comments. So, okay, Sam said, "Hi, Mary. Are there cables in it?" Oh, are you asking? Oh, the capelet thingy? No, there's not. There, I know. I'm gonna do a cabled scarf. That's what I'm gonna do for the Fiber Friends challenge. Oh, what am I talking about? Um, oh yeah, I mean, oh, you lost one of your knitting needles in the hospital. Oh shoot. Yeah, I don't know if somebody might put it in the lost and found. If a knitter found it, they probably would. Hopefully, right? Got a new pair of US size 2 high needles in the mail last week, and I'm currently knitting a pair of River Rapid socks. Oh, that sounds awesome, Amanda. I know Wendy says I should finish all my new starts so I can free up some needles for the fall and winter projects. I know. I'm really trying. I'm trying. It's a slow process though. Let's see here. Oh, Cindy says I want to finish up the two pairs of socks I have on the needles. I'm thinking I need a cozy cardigan for the cold weather. I know there's something about this, right? When the weather starts to turn cool at night, it's I know he doesn't want to bring out all those warm things. and then it promptly turns, like, sweltering hot, and then you're like yeah, I know. Okay, let's see here. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, Jocelyn, Susanna was so kind and she brought you the Gramps pattern. I have one 5-year-old boy, 2-year-old. He's now a sibling coming this January to make versions for. That'll be fantastic. Susanna is so generous that way. That's lovely. Okay. Oh, crochet a cardigan for her. Yeah, I know. Yep. Okay, well, Jocelyn, sounds like you've got some good patterns on the go here. Okay, so my projects for this week, I'm going to get this border finished on here. I pulled out. I was looking for needles. Another really good thing. I didn't think about this till just now, but another reason that this is going to be a great project, the Web's Best is because it uses such a large needle. I don't have those already in projects, right? Like all the fours, the 4.5, the fives, sixes, they're all in use somewhere. But um, I think I'm going to start with a 9 millimeter. I don't think I'm going to have to go as high as a 10. We'll see. I'll check the gauge and we'll see. But I did find a 10. Now the problem is the 10 was a 16-inch, so I'm not going to get too far with that. But there it is. But I can use it to do a gauge swatch, and I can use it to cast on until I can find a longer needle. But this will get me started tonight. Um, I could do a little gauge swatch. I haven't even read the whole entire pack. Oh no, it says provisional cast on. Okay, you guys, what do you think? Every time I hear provisional cast on, I always do. Oh no, I I do the provisional cast on with a crochet hook. So I don't crochet a chain and then like try to pick up the back loop of the back of the chain or something because I'm not very good at that. So I don't do that, but I use the crochet hook and the knitting needle, and then I knit around the crochet hook and have live stitches using the waist yarn, and then carry on from that. So, okay, nobody thinks that this is a sign of what's to come for this project, right? That is, we're not like superstitious, right? When your yarn comes out of the ball tangled, we're not going to take that as a bad sign. Okay. But yeah, I'm thinking, my goodness, a 10 millimeter, that'll be like super, super lacy. I mean, a 9 millimeter is going to be crazy enough. I think, what did I read? The gauge was said 10 stitches, didn't it? It didn't say over 4 inches, but it has, I'm assuming it would be 10 stitches over. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try that. I'm just thinking here would be, I mean, like 2 inches. I mean, she must just be assuming it's over 4 inches. So, um, oh, what are we? Oh, I just saw Indiana close to Michigan border. I've got yarn to show you guys. So, oh no. Okay, I'm gonna deal with that later. Let's look at. I bought yarn for a wrap, a shawl at some point. So a couple weeks ago, I was away. A friend and I did a little bit of a road trip, and we ended up in northern Michigan. And we found this cute little beachy town, and there was a yarn shop there. So, and oh, I think I started to tell you last week that yes, we got there, and and this anyway, yeah, anyway, it was a lovely, lovely lady who owned the shop, but she was apologizing profusely because it was just a couple of days after the Michigan Fiber Festival had ended, and all of her racks, she had these portable racks on wheels that she'd had at the show, and her husband had just taken them out of the van, the truck, the trailer, whatever, and had just plopped them in the center of the store and had not wheeled them anywhere around. So the store was a little bit disheveled, but we just made our way through and looked around at things, and we came up with some yarn. She had the sweetest dog in the store with her, and she was super, super lovely. Um, I think she said something about it was just a few weeks away, and then they were going to Wisconsin Fiber Festival because we were, I don't think we were that far from Wisconsin. Anyways, doesn't matter. But I found these 3 balls. So it is, the yarn is Jody Long. Um, I've never had any of his yarn before, so that's be fun to try. It's called Flora. It's a cotton summer tweed. And I think this colorway is called Hyacinth. Yes. So it is just, I don't know, it's just really gray. It's like a tweedy gray. So I grabbed 3 balls and I thought, well, we'll see what we get with it. But yeah, there's just like, there's dark little bits in there. There was one that had little bits of yellow in it, and I did not get that one. I just really I just really, 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 really liked this, and it feels super nice. So let me tell you what all is in here. Bum, bum. Let's see. Okay, so it is suggesting. So did I see somewhere on here? I think I saw it was a DK weight. It is suggesting a 3.25 millimeter or a US 3 needle, 24 stitches over 4 inches. It's 100%, 100% cotton. I may or may not have checked that. I don't know if I did. Um, 270 meters per 100 grams. So that's that. If I mean, 100% cotton, it feels really, really nice. What I kind of envisioned was a smaller version of my European road trip shawl, which basically, um, I think that was a really, really popular pattern a while back as well. And it is basically, it is just a big rectangle with kind of angled points on either end. It is lovely. It is super wearable. That's, oh, I knit that out of stretchy sock yarn as well. And it is one of my favorites. You guys, it might even be this color. I may have to check that. I may have a matching wrap and sweater vest poncho thingy. But I love it. My European road trip shawl because it is mostly, well, that was cotton, wool, and nylon and elastic. I grab it when I go to the beach because I go to the beach lots of times in the evening. So when the sun starts to set and if the wind's coming off the water, it's nice just to pull like a jacket or sweater on. So I lots of times last summer, that's all I used, and I've used it a few times this summer, was my European road trip shawl. So and I can't remember if that was like at least a 4 skein shawl. So I thought I would do like a 3 skein version, something similar, just rectangle, simple, simple, just grab and wear. So that was my plan. So I bought yarn with a plan, which also does not happen very often. Okay, let me see. So what is everybody else working on? So just quickly tell me in the comments. The Webs vest. Do you think that is something that you would knit? I know the construction is a little odd, right? Because the one side looks like it's open like a poncho, but then there is a sleeve. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on that? Like having the sleeve means like maybe you're gonna have better, like you can move your arm better to like grab things without it like all bunching up. I don't know. What do you think? I'm either thinking it'll be the most fantastic thing ever, or I will lump it in with my thoughts on shawlettes and fingerless mitts. Kind of that they're only good in a specific applications, certain settings. Maybe that's what I'll say. I don't know, but I'm having this vision of this web vest as it just being something that you can just grab and pull on, right? Like just have one of those things like a hoodie that you always have like in the backseat of the car, or you just grab every time it gets cool. That's what I'm thinking, that this will be something just to pull on and off, and thinking I'm gonna like it. Thinking I'm gonna like it. So we will see. We will see. Okay, I'm just gonna take a peek here in the comments. Oh, Justin says 10 millimeter needle and figuring weight yarn is such a loose gauge. I know, which is why I don't think this is going to happen. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna happen. Um, but we'll see. I will fill you in next week after I get it started, and we'll see. Um, Yeah, I can't see me wanting it to be that open and lacy. Oh, hi, Kim. So Kim, the black yarn, it was the winner. Was it you, Kim, that said that you switched after you saw the Ravelry thread, or the picture, you had changed your mind to the black? Anyways, black was the winner. Oh, Amanda, you're in Florida, so this time of year it's either sweltering or hurricaning. Okay, then we'll go with sweltering, right? Where I live is usually out of the path of the storms. That's good, but we usually get a lot of rain. Well, you know what? We got rain and wind. When did that last a storm come through? Was that like on Tuesday? The next day here it was chilly. It was like you needed a sweater. So we got the tail end of that storm. Are you going oh, yes. When I find it, Sam, I will do that. Yeah, Florida heat in the summer must be pretty hot. Oh, Amanda says it's all that you've ever known. Can't handle the snow and ice very well. I know. That's a toss up. That's a toss up. Oh, Elena, you're knitting the Selbu mittens. Oh, I love those. Those are so fun. They're so gorgeous. Lynn says you would probably can constantly be adjusting it. Oh, so the whole thing just because like you've got one arm out and just be. I know. I'm wondering. That was my whole thing back. Remember when I started that green capelet? That was my whole thing with that because it was like very, and especially with the capelet because it was pretty fitted. It wasn't loose and had tons of room like a poncho. And that's what I thought the capelet. Remember, I had this conversation. I think it was on the Fiber Friends podcast. I'm like, well, what if you're grocery shopping and you need to reach up and grab cereal and you've got this capelet thing on? I could like see the whole thing bunching up at your ears, and then you're like fighting to pull it down all the time. Or if it's a cape, how do you put your purse over your shoulder, right? But if this one's got one sleeve, maybe that fixes some of those problems. I don't know. I feel like these are all very burning questions that I need to have answered. So I will have to actually finish my whole capelet versus the one that has a sleeve and then wear them out to try specific movements of, yes, getting groceries and reaching and lifting and carrying, and see how they see how they perform, and then rate them. So okay, but Lynn is like, so I think Lynn's kind of like on the fence with that one. Oh, hey, Sally. Okay, Lynelle says it's not something I would wear. I know. I don't know. It's something I have never had a burning desire to have one either, but when I saw it this morning, I was like, "Oh, I think this would be fun." So it was a little bit of an impulse decision, but what the heck, right? If I really, really hate it, I could pull it all out, reclaim the yarn, and actually cast on a proper cardigan or a poncho or I don't know, or put it back in my stash. That's always an option, but I'm hoping not. I'm feeling very hopeful that I'm going to really, really like this. Okay, Jocelyn says it's not the kind of garment that calls to me. Okay. Well, you guys just wait. maybe you'll change your mind once I'm modeling it and, raving about it or not, which is totally fine. Oh, Wendy still knitting hats for Christmas gifts. Fantastic. Liz says she'll wait and see. I know. I'll let you know. Hi, Sherry. Oh my gosh, Sherry, I just got 2 sweaters off the needles and I'm itching to cast on a new one. Maybe the cozy cardigan. Oh, by Andrea Mowry or the field sweater. That field sweater is gorgeous. I thought about it this morning, but I didn't think I had enough solid sock yarn to do that or to do a lot of the other ones that were on Ravelry. So I did briefly think about dyeing some yarn for today, but then I thought, no, I'm going to use up some that I have in my stash. So, okay, Sherry, which one? I don't know. I would vote the field sweater because that is a gorgeous stitch pattern around the yoke. Louise said I would make it symmetrical, so no sleeve. Excellent for air travel. Right, no fussing with it. I think did you s- somebody said that before that it would make a good traveling like a capelet kind of thing. So, oh, Mary's working on the Ariana. Oh, it's a granny square cardigan. Oh my gosh, Mary, that's gonna be fantastic. Liz is still working on her vintage sweater and a pair of socks. Liz, I like your sweater. Can't wait to see. You've got the 2 front panels, right, to do? All right. Yep, we're at 9. Oh, we're just past 9 o'clock. All right, everybody. Yeah, we will wrap up. I'm just going to just see. Oh, vintage. Yes, vintage sweater. Have a good week. Oh, okay. Elena's saying I have the Sobu mitten book. Oh, I am so tempted. I think I looked at that last year thinking that would maybe be a good Christmas present for myself, but I don't know. I didn't do it. Maybe this year. I've also been packing, mixing various patterns. Oh, picking and mixing various patterns from the mitts. That would be fun. So just going through the book and just do it like this and this and this and very fun. Oh, Nancy's knitting a baby blanket. Oh, from Knit Picks. Lovely. Jocelyn's working on, oh, the shoulder increases for the wood woes. Ooh, fantastic, Jocelyn. Yes, Thursday night, everybody. Jocelyn and I will be here. It is our monthly check-in because it's now September. And yeah, Jocelyn and I will be right here at 7:30. And we usually chat for about an hour and a half. And so we'll catch up on see what our progress has been on our projects. If we have progress, we haven't touched them. If we have finishes, because all possibilities are possible. We'll just see. We'll show you what we've got done. And then I guess we have to pick a new project for the next month's check-in, don't we? I'll have to start thinking about that. I've got lots to pick from, so I'll have to get a couple and you guys can help me pick which one I should be doing. All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for voting. I'm super excited to cast this on and try this poncho vest sweatery thingy out. And if it knits up as quick as it says it will, maybe I will have it done and be wearing it next Monday night. We will see. Don't hold your breath for that, but hopefully you'll have a good start. All right, everybody, have a great week and get lots of knitting, crafting, crocheting time in. And we will chat again, well, Thursday night for sure. And I'll be back here Monday night and we will do another knitting update. Have a great week, everybody.